Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. We continue reading Sri Krishna's teachings on the yajñā aspect of performing the karma as a sacrifice. And today we are going to read this 32nd shloka from our previous reading, 31st shloka. Sri Krishna had taught us that one who partakes of the leftovers from the yajñā, whatever is sacrificed, whatever is left over, one who partakes of that leftover, then he verily reaches the stage of attaining the eternal Brahma. Yajñā shishta mruto bhujo, amruta bhujo. Yajñā shishta, the remnant of yajñā is like amruta, is like nectar. It is not that the leftover that we have when we eat the food and things are left over, and we start wondering what is to be done with this leftover. Maybe tomorrow we will eat the same thing, after that we will eat the same thing, and we get worried over that leftover. But this leftover of the yajñā, Krishna says, is nectar-like. Because this is what actually going to give us what we need. And what we need, this partaking of the leftover from giving away whatever we have gained, is yanti brahma sanatanam, is going to get us, going to make us reach that ultimate eternal Brahman. It is not a leftover of this sacrifice, leftover of whatever is left over after giving away the I consciousness. That is not bad. That is not to be worried about what I will do. I will have to eat it for 2 more days. Enjoy that leftover of this sacrifice of the I consciousness, sacrifice of me as the doer. Sacrifice that feeling and enjoy the leftover of whatever you get out of that karma. Enjoy it, partake of it, and we will reach the eternal Brahman. And then Sri Krishna had told us that those who don't have this attitude of sacrifice, na ayam lokaha asti ayajñasya, for those non-sacrificers, those non-givers, they have no place in this world, in this earthly world. Forget about kutaha anyaha. What about the other higher realms? Forget it. No other higher planes for them, no heaven, no celestial planes for them. Oh, best among the gurus. So that's what Sri Krishna had told in the 31st shloka, and today 32nd shloka he is going to further tell us about something about the yajñā again. Evaṁ bahu-vidhā yajñā vitatā brahmaṇo mukhe karma-jān viddhi sarvān evaṁ jñātvā vimokṣhyase. Krishna says, I have told you so much about these different types of yajñas. Sri Krishna has told us, start telling us about the yajñā as such from which shlok? From 22nd shlok, 23rd shlok. Gata sangasya muktasya jnānavasthita chetasaha yajñāyācharataha karma samagram praviliyate. With this shlok, Sri Krishna had started teaching us the greatness about this act of sacrifice. He had told us there, Gata Sangasya, free from attachment, in a detached manner. Muktasya, the liberated, with the free mind, no attachments. So, Gata Sangasya Muktasya Jnānavasthita Chetasa, merged in this knowledge, merged in this eternal knowledge, the mind centered in this knowledge of doing the selfless work. So, for such person, yajñāya acharataha karma. That person is like performing the work as sacrifice, performing. Though for these such people who are devoid of attachment, such people who are liberated, such people whose mind is centered in the knowledge of doing this selfless karma, whatever work they do, they are performing it in the spirit of performing yajñā, the sacrifice. And then what happens? Karma samagram praviliyate. All their the effects of that karma, they just are nullified. They are not bound by any of the fruits of those actions. They are free from attachment to even the fruits of the actions of those karma. They are free souls. So, with that 23rd shlok, Sri Krishna has been teaching us everything in details about the yajñā aspect. And what are the different types of yajñās that people do perform. And now here, Sri Krishna is telling us, evaṁ bahu-vidhā yajñā. Like I have explained to you in all these previous 9 verses, the different types of yajñās, the different types of sacrifices, the different types of attitudes to give away your belongings, to give away your earnings. All these sacrifices, the manifold sacrifices, bahu-vidhā, bahu-vidhā yajñā, vitatā brahmaṇo mukhe, they have been described. They have been categorically spread. They are spread across. Where? Brahmaṇo mukhe. The 4 heads, the 4 mouths of the Brahma. That is called as the Vedas. You remember, you know this, we have this tradition of the Holy Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Now this Brahma is different from the Brahman. This Brahma is the originator of the Vedas. He has 4 heads and each head represents one Veda. The Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, the Atharva Veda. So this is the concept that Sri Krishna is kind of explaining, that the 4-mouthed Brahma is considered as the originator of the Vedas. So Sri Krishna says, all these type of different sacrifices that I have thus told, I have thus narrated, I have thus taught, they have already been mentioned. They are spread across the 4 Vedas. Then karma-jān viddhi tan sarvān. Karma-jān, born of action. Viddhi, know you. You know for sure. Viddhi tan sarvān evaṁ jñātvā vimokṣhyase. Having known all these, know them all as the born of karma. All these sacrifices are born of karma. And thus knowing, you shall be free You shall be mukta from getting attached to the fruits of the karma. Even doing the karma itself, you will never be attached. You will be ever free. Vimokṣhyase. Having known this, evaṁ jñātvā, having known this truth, you will be free from doing all sorts of works. You will free from the burden, you will free from the fruits of the actions that you are performing. Various yajñas such as these are spread out in the storehouse of the Vedas. Brahmaṇo mukhe. It is a huge storehouse of knowledge. It is a huge bhandar, so to say, of the Vedas. They have everything in it. All the knowledge that is there to be learned is there in the Vedas. The Vedas that we see today in printed version, it could be just a minuscule part of that eternal knowledge which is there in the original Vedas. So, all these Vedas, they have they have already mentioned about various types of yajñas, various types of sacrifices. Various yajñas such as these that I have described to you, I have taught to you, they are spread out in the storehouse of the Vedas. Know them all to be born of karma. Know that all these yajña sacrifices, they are born out of karma. And thus knowing, you shall be free. Then you will realize the importance of sacrifice. Then you will realize the importance of giving away. And once you get into that attitude of giving away, you will be free from any kind of attachment towards the karma. The four-faced Brahma, Veda, Prakriti, nature, Maya. All these terms refer to the same reality. Ultimately, it is the same Sanatana Brahman, the Vedas, the Prakriti, because Prakriti also is just a manifestation of the eternal Brahman. The knower of Veda is he who knows how nature functions. Now, of all the knowledge that is contained in the Vedas, what is important for anyone to know is how this Prakriti functions. How this Nirguna, Nirakara Brahman gets manifested as Prakriti. The Prakriti gets separated from the Purusha element. Now that knowledge is the ultimate knowledge. The knower of Vedas gets that knowledge. Nature is the embodiment of the karma, and having been part of this creation, having been part of this Prakriti which has come out of the Nirguna Brahman, all the activity starts. If you take the two elements of this Brahman, the Purusha and Prakriti, the Purusha element is inactive. There is no action involved in Purusha element of the Brahman. It is like that Lord Shiva lying like a corpse at the feet of Ma Kali, doing nothing, inactive, absolutely motionless, actionless, just lying still like a corpse. And all the activity is the burden of our divine mother Ma Kali. She has to create, she has to sustain, she has to preserve, and finally she has to dissolve everything, she has to destroy everything. So this action part, karma part, gets involved the moment the creation starts. The moment Prakriti comes into picture, the moment comes into picture, the karma part starts, the action starts. And there is in it a divine design of the karma. And this is the divine design. One who understands this, That why we become so busy, we become so active, we get involved in doing so many activities. It is all play of this Prakriti. They who convert karma into yajñā, construe and conform to the sacred plan of the nature. Those people who start performing the karma with the knowledge that I'm performing this as a sacrifice. This work is being done as a sacrifice at the lotus feet of the Lord. I am not the doer. When we sacrifice this ownership, when we sacrifice this I consciousness, then we start working in tune with Prakriti. Remember, Krishna has said, I have created this entire thing, but I am not a doer. When the Lord says, I am not the doer, can't we, the devotees, we the followers of Krishna, we the followers of the Mother, can't we also say this, I am not the doer? So getting rid of that I consciousness, getting rid of that attitude of I am the doer, that is the biggest of the sacrifices. All the happenings in nature are capable of being converted to yajñā. All the things that happen in this nature, in this creation, they are nothing but yajñās. They are nothing but sacrifices. But we don't look at it in that way. While karma in its ordinary form is binding, in the form of yajñā, it is liberating. When we don't have the ownership of doing it, we are free. Who is going to bind us then? Who is going to bind us with the fruit of that action? Because we are not the doers. He is the doer. Mother is the doer. Let her take the benefits of that karma. Let her take whatever comes out of it. It is her possession. I am just a child. I am just an instrument. So that is the way. Then that's what Sri Krishna in this shloka again he has told us that he has told us that evaṁ bahu-vidhā, all these kinds of yajñas that I have described to you, that I have taught you, are already spread over all in all the four Vedas. So one who starts performing karma with this understanding, karma-jān viddhi tan sarvān evaṁ jñātvā vimokṣhyase. So one who gets this knowledge, this starts performing the karma with this knowledge, remains ever free from any kind of bondage relating to the activities that he is doing, whether it is the activity itself or the fruits of those activities that he does. So that is the 32nd shloka about the knowledge pertaining to the karma that he is doing as sacrifice. That is the 32nd shloka of the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yuga. And that was our reading for today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ram Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.